Hey everyone. Can you guys see me and hear me? Hopefully my microphone wasn't working before, so I hope it's working now. Awesome. Thank you, Pilgrim. How are you guys doing? Hey Kev. Hello, Miss Maddle. Hey Lefty, how you doing? Pilgrim. Hey Devil Dog. The champ is here. Hey Dawn, she said. Teresa. How you guys doing? Celtic Grandma, how you doing? Hold on. She said, I think I just said hello to you. DJ Rob, how are you doing? Hey Rocksteady, how are you? Hey Random. Random, get out of center chat, please. I saw a comment, and that's kind of really what I actually wanted to talk about tonight. Hey Irishman, how you doing? Yeah, you know what? This is kind of what I actually wanted to talk about tonight. Hey Tina. Sorry, I'm trying to read chat and so I hope all you moms out there had a really awesome day yesterday. I hope you guys got treated like the queens you are. Sorry, I'm just seeing if I missed anybody. If I missed anybody, totally accident. Hey Appalachian, how you doing? Yeah, I'm having the same problem. It might be those solar flares still. I don't know. I don't know if they're still affecting it, but I couldn't get. Hey Canadian, hey Bushcrafter. I couldn't get any sound on my microphone. Wasn't working before. So how was everybody's weekend? I thought I'd change it up and do it on Monday nights because Sunday in the middle of the day was just. It was getting really hard. It was just smack in the middle of the day, and I know so many people had church. And I'm like, you know what? Let's try and change it. I don't know if anybody else goes live on Mondays at 7. I don't think they do. So I don't think I'm stepping on anybody's toes, I hope. I was trying to find a place where nobody else was doing them. So how did I don't even remember. I didn't put that on the screen. So you guys have anything? I put the link up there if anybody wants to come up, chat. But I figured we could talk about all the kids with anxiety these days because I'm noticing it like so much. I actually have one of my best friends works in a school, and she, she tells me these things. She works in an elementary school about, how the kids and how they're acting and the differences, from 5 years ago even. It's just, hey, Shorty. It's an amazing difference what's going on lately, and I think this world is really changing everything. So our kids are just they're going through anxiety and depression, and back in the day we used to get on our bikes, we used to go out when, right after breakfast, and we would come back when the street lights came in. Hey, Bug Out. I'm sorry I had to leave you today. My work called. Well, they were they were making me work. They don't really give me YouTube time, but I try. I try to steal it when I can. The so sorry, lost my train of thought. I'm squirreling out over here. So she's saying, all of these kids, they're having a lot of anxiety issues, and the I'm thinking that this world is just with the phones, with the lack of contact with other people, the lack of going outside and getting sunshine, and it's all contributing to this. I mean, most of the people that I know that have younger kids, they all have them in, a ton of activities. They're not the, well, let me give you the phone to my son so, we don't have to watch him and he can sit on the phone and there can be the babysitter. But that's what I hear about a lot, especially with two working parents, it gets really hard, and I understand that. And I think that it's really becoming an issue with our kids these days. So, what do you all think? I have two grown kids with anxiety started when they were little. Mine started little too, and the world didn't push mine because I grew up before it all started. I mean, not to say that everybody's kids are doing it because of this world. Sometimes, it just people are prone to it for whatever reason. I was just prone to it. I don't know why. And FOMO. Why? I feel like I should know what that means, and yet I don't. Everyone else life looks like 100 times better than yours, but it's illusion. That's really true. I'm guessing FOMO is some sort of social media. Yeah, everybody's trying to, you know what? I remember talking to one of the girls in my son's karate class, and she put this was back, I don't know, 10 years ago or so. And she put up something, and I said, well, I don't understand, what does that get you by putting that up? She goes, it gets me a lot of likes. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of pressure for these kids. Hey, Yankee. That fear of missing out. Yeah, the situational anxiety is big. A lot of times it's a trigger that sets us off. I'm sorry, I'm swirling out again. I see comments and I just my train of thought goes in 72 different ways. Part of my anxiety. So what was I saying? So yeah, the fear of missing out, that's a big one. Hey Holly, everybody, if your friends are out and they're out without you as a kid, you know it instantly because they're posting stuff online. And there's no, this person can't go out with this person anymore. You can't have small friends. Everybody's got to be included now. And it's, yeah, the fear of missing out. So they'll know instantly because it's all over social media. And if they don't get the attention that they want on social media, it becomes devastating to them. And it's really, I think, personal opinion, all social media should be taken away from children unless it's highly um, monitored by their parents. I guess I know social media. Neither do I. Yeah, you know what? I have a Facebook that I go on, once in a while. Usually, I'm just scrolling and I find jokes because I have um, I have one friend, Mr. Kevin, who likes to put up really awesome jokes. And that's usually what I'm looking for is just the funny stuff. I never post anything myself anymore. Hey Matt, how are you? But I agree. I don't think social media is good for the kids, and I think it's part of what's really causing the anxiety. Hey Angela, how are you? But to yeah, to say this, and most of the a lot of the time, I shouldn't say that. And I just want to my disclaimer here: I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I have no medical degrees whatsoever. No license to practice any kind of therapy. So this is all opinions and take with a grain of salt. Do your own research. But situational anxiety is a lot of the time what can trigger things. I know what caused mine. Hey, Johnny Preps, and it was situational, or at least it brought it out in me. But I mean, unfortunately, I was prone to it, so mine just developed worse and worse and worse. But that's a lot of the time how people start. It starts with one, and then it continues to go. Kids of these will completely lose it. Yeah, I said if a couple of years ago, I think it was Facebook that went down, and these kids were literally losing their minds over this. And I'm like, oh my God, can you imagine if we actually lost electricity for any time? We lost, does anybody remember when the power grid completely went out, like on the eastern seaboard? I mean, like 13 states were affected. Everybody went out. And it was out for, I think we lost it only for about 18 hours, but some people were out for about 3 days. And I'm thinking, my God, if that ever happened now. Well, hello, you made it. So I'm thinking, if that ever happened now, it would be traumatic to these kids. They wouldn't even know how to deal. All right, I'm scrolling. I'm literally all over the place. Yeah, well, Gloria was back in the '80s. That was way before I think I was 13 when that happened. I remember showering at the gym in my middle school, which was junior high school back then. I'm thinking you're talking to somebody else. That sucks, Lisa. I'm sorry. And this world is just feeding into it. It's not making it any better. Everything is done online. There's no physical contact anymore. They don't want you touching at school. They don't. They want everybody separated. They want no human contact. My son, also has bad anxiety. Oh, you know what? If I can help one person, then my job is done. That sucks. I understand. You put wallpaper on something today. Do I want to know? I think it depends on the environment as well. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that can definitely cause anxiety. Yeah, I think that can cause all sorts of other stuff too besides anxiety. I am. Thank you, Matt. Put the phone away until summer. Her friends are forced to come to the house and visit. That's awesome. That's so awesome. When are you leaving, Bug Out? When are you making the move? All right, I'm scrolling down. Sorry. I know. I told you I suck at this. Sorry if my internet crashes. I think it's probably it's. You know, I was wondering if they were still going to affect. I don't know how long. I heard somebody say they could last a few weeks. I don't know. Bring up all kinds of reasons to be in the nurse's office. Uh, I understand that one, Shorty. That's how I was for a long time. Not because I didn't have it in school, but I understand that whole thinking. That's awesome. That's awesome, Dawn. I would definitely not. If my kids were younger, I definitely wouldn't. If they had social media, they would be highly monitored. Wait a second. She started to cut herself on anxiety. Yeah, I was there. I understand that. I went through the same thing, almost exactly. So I get it. It's physical pain takes away the mental pain, or at least that's how my brain thought. And yeah, I was there too. Hey, Charmaine, thanks for coming in. She's also yeah, that's hard. Miss Meadow, one of my favorite people in the whole world. Can you come and do some of mine? Every time I try to grow them, they rotten out on me. I start getting little bulbs and then they just rot. Yeah. It's it's not fun. I hope they can too, Holly. Put wallpaper on pegboards for my little garden, she said. Aw, that's awesome. Hey, Prepper Book Club. You snuck in there. No, my chat jumped all the way down to the bottom and I'm missing. I don't know how that happened. I'm going to blame the solar flares. I can imagine. That's really difficult. You know what though? If hopefully she's in a good place, it does help. It does help, especially is she in the she's if you could find a place that just deals with anxiety, that really helped me. So I went to this place. It was called Terup or Terup, New York, because I guess they're here. But from what I understand, they're all over the place, and they're still around there, and they literally just deal with anxiety. And the woman who was my therapist, she went through the same thing. So it's so much nicer having a therapist who's been there, not just somebody who reads out of a book and says, well, this is how you should be feeling, because that's not how it works. And she understood that everybody does things differently. And hey, William, and that everybody copes with things differently. And take care, Matt. Thanks for coming in. And she was fabulous. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have progressed as well as I did back then. I was a mess. It is out of control, and the problem is it's all over social media. People away from social media, cyberbullying. Yeah, I wouldn't be sending my kids to private school these days. My brain, anything's possible. Have you put your tinfoil hat on lately? Because I believe solar flares can't get through tinfoil hats. That's what I've heard. Deliver to near people and. Well, I'm glad they did something. I'd be doing homeschooling if I could. For if I had small kids these days, my kids are adults, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Thank God. It is not something I would want to deal with right now. I know a lot of you guys homeschool these days. Hey, Daryl. Hey, down the rabbit hole. How are you, my sister? If anybody wants to pop up, I put the link up at the top. Hey, Metal. I am literally, my chat is jumping all over the place, and I can't seem to keep it in one spot. And then I'm taking pieces of conversations and I'm mixing myself up because I'm doing them out of order, and it just jumped on me again. I didn't see any of it. I tried. I went out there. I tried with my camera. I got nothing. It was way too cloudy. I'm assuming you're talking about the Northern Lights. Me too. I have one in every color to match my shoes. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, Mary, how are you? You stuck in there. Sorry if I missed anybody. Totally accidental. Chat's jumping all around. I've heard that. I don't know, I don't know if it's true or not. I know, hey, Moonsprout, but I definitely heard that. But so do if you follow certain things. I have a friend who's very into, um, the stars, the planets. What is that called? I'm suddenly blanking. And she said that's extremely, the moon is in retrograde. I don't follow it. So that's the only thing I remember hearing, but she says that can definitely, do it. So I'm guessing the solar flares would also have something to do with that, along the same lines. Take care, Daryl. especially when I squirrel off every third word, and I have anxiety, so I suck at this. If I just mention the word poison ivy to my older son, he breaks out, and I don't get it. Like I literally, I could rub it all over me, and I do not get it. Does not affect me at all. It's the one thing in the world I'm not allergic to. Okay, yeah, I definitely will. Of the Northern Lights, are you talking about? Well, if you're done after you're done stuffing your face, if you want to come up, yeah. What are you eating? I thought I was wrong. Astronomy. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. Oh, thanks, Devil Dog. Pilgrim, you're awesome. I love you, Miss Metal. Hey, Devil Dog. We got two Devil Dogs here tonight. How are you? Love you, Kev. Hey, Widows. It's great to see you. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. I wasn't fishing for compliments, I swear. That is like one of my favorite meals of all time, minus broccoli. I don't like broccoli. Ah, yum. So don't forget to check out some of the other channels that are in here because we have a ton of awesome channels in here. So if you go check one out, if you like it, hang out for a while. Hey, unknown. All right. So what do you all want to talk about? I was actually pretty proud of myself this weekend because I do not have my shopping buddy. We go shopping every week, most every weekend. We do it together. We do like the big box stores. So, we don't have to do it separate. It's so much more fun when you go with a friend. And then we usually go out to lunch and, make a Saturday out of it. And she's in Ecuador right now. So I lost my shopping buddy for a couple of weeks. She's not back until I think the following weekend. And I had to do it by myself, which to me is always a not that I can't do it. I have a little bit of anxiety, but I did. I made it. I went by myself and I was impressed with myself. So, it's the small things that you have to like, yes, I did it. I can do this. But she's kind of my enabler when it comes to she doesn't even know it because she when I'm with somebody I have no problems, but going to some of the really big box stores by myself, it's hard for me. Not little regular supermarkets, but big box stores, Costco, BJ's. They don't I don't like them for whatever reason. I was going to go to Wally World, but I don't like to go there by myself for different reasons. It's just not the greatest areas, and it's just there's some sketchy people there, so I don't like going there by myself. So I decided I'm not going there for different reasons. Oh, no, sorry, that does not sound yummy at all. That sounds like a big no. Sure, you can absolutely say that. I don't follow any of it, so yeah, I kind of started with kids and anxiety, but then I squirreled off, and I think I basically said everything that was in my brain. Right? Sometimes you got to go and just bring your camera, but I do not like to go there by myself. Either one. I have two of them that are fairly close to me, and neither one. I don't do jalapenos or bacon. Cheese I like. Hey, little lone prepper. Great to see you. So, if you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, when they shut the schools down, everything went to. Yep. I'm guessing that wasn't supposed to be suit. Yeah. I mean, when especially their whole, everybody go and sit behind a computer and, don't go near anybody. You might kill somebody if you talk to them without a mask and get within 10 feet of them. And, yeah. That's kind of what I figured you meant. But yeah, I mean, and nothing ever really went back to the way it was. They kept taking away, changing things, making human contact more scarce. And, it's never gone back. The more they keep taking away, and we never get anything back. And our kids are suffering. It's terrible. Same. Yeah. Not going to get started on that, but yeah. Uh, yep, overtired. That's horrible. And then you know what? I actually that just happened to me last weekend. I was so overtired and I could not fall asleep. I was up all night long, like literally did not sleep one bit. I don't usually do that. That's odd for me. So when I can't sleep, it frustrates me to no end. I hope you end up falling asleep. There is there's actually something I do when I used to have problems falling asleep way back maybe 15 years ago. And this guy had taught this I think he was like a nurse. He had taught it to me. And I'm telling you, it is the best thing that I ever did. So what you do is when you're laying in bed, you have to, because most of my problem was just not relaxing or sometimes not being able to shut off my brain. So what he would tell me to do is you lay there still and you have to, anytime anything pops into your brain, you have to like you have to kick it out. Repeat a word. I was just repeating the word sleep, but you can kind of pick, whatever you want to do. And I would just keep, so, things would pop into my brain, from 1912 and be like, oh, I should have said this then. And I'd be, no, I sleep. And I kept any thought I would have, I would push it out. And then what you do is you start with your toes. And again, if you're like in pain or something, skip this body part. But you would start with your toes, scrunch them up as tight as you can for a couple of seconds, and then release them and try to picture the stress and any tension leaving that your toes when you do it. Then you go to your ankles and you make the muscles as hard as you can, and again you let it out. Then you work up to your calves, same thing. Make really really tight muscles, hold it for a few seconds, let it go, try to push all of the try to picture the stress leaving your body or the tension or whatever it is, and you keep working up your knees, your thighs. um, Usually by the time I got to my thighs or something, I was sound asleep. And it just, I don't know what it is, but it's some sort of Tai Chi. Somebody told me, I think Mad Chad told me it was a Tai Chi thing when I had described it to him. And from starting with your toes. And it's great. And it really does work. Because I went through bouts of not being able to sleep for a long time. Oh, that sucks. Try what I said. It really does work. Nope, never. It will never go back to the way it was. Yeah. I was going to the park with my family. Some plants are looking moving, so we can't have meals in groups. There's three of us, and yet was this recently? Like, what is wrong with them? They even took so seriously. That's terrible. I know they cut up. They cut all the funding, at least in New York. I'm assuming they did. No, I'm sorry. In New York, they cut all the school funding throughout the entire state of New York. So now all the schools are scrambling, trying to get big budget increases, and they'll never pass. Nobody wants to pay an extra 5% on what they're already, or the astronomical prices that they're already paying now. So it's not going to pass. And they're going to lose a lot of teachers, all the teachers' aides, my girlfriend, they're all going to lose their jobs. Tried to cut me off, but I beat it. There was never got me a manual. Locked down my mess. Here you go. Best advice ever. Just breathe. And that's really good advice for, especially for people with anxiety. But don't breathe too much because then you're hyperventilating. Actually, the best way to breathe when you are having an anxiety attack is to breathe in. And then, so when you breathe in, you count. And whatever you count to, it does not have to be a set number. It's whatever you are doing. It's however fast you are counting. It's just that you want to exhale twice as long as you inhaled. So if you breathe in and you count to 5, you want to exhale count the same way as you inhaled, but you want to make it count to 10. You want to exhale twice as long as you're inhaling. That's what will stop you from hyperventilating if you're having a panic attack. Hey, Joe, how you doing? I'm not sure who you're talking to, but if it's me, I hope it works. You know what? I've been having nothing but problems with YouTube lately. Oh, and the height of it. Yeah, don't go outside. Don't talk to anybody. That was wrong. I bet you were. My kids didn't do sports. They did karate, CrossFit. My youngest one tried lacrosse. That was just those moms and fathers were insane. I think he was 8 or 7 when we tried it for him, and we signed him up. And the first thing that they had was this Shamrock Shuffle or something like that. And it was the first time. I mean, he literally never even held a stick, and it was just supposed to be a fun thing. It wasn't an official game or anything. And these parents were screaming on the sidelines, these new kids, they got all these new kids. I don't understand. Why are they letting them on the field? And I'm like, oh my God, these kids are like 7 or 8 years old. Like, what is wrong with you parents? That was the first and last time he ever did it. Oh, I love you too, Miss Meadow. Anxiety is often relative and overblown. Well, I can kind of agree with you, but we overblow it in our heads, and unfortunately, it's how we see it. So yeah, anxiety technically is us of things blowing out of proportion in our own heads. So I guess I can kind of agree with you there. But unfortunately, it's really hard to underblow it. Does that make sense? Is that a word? Oof. Does that come from anxiety? Because anxiety can cause major fatigue in a lot of people. A lot of people who have anxiety literally sleep and they do nothing but sleep. They're tired all the time, no matter how much they sleep, they're tired. And that was me. That's why when I had bouts of not being able to sleep, it gets very frustrating to me because I'm not used to it. Normally, I fall asleep before my head hits the pillow. That's awesome. Good for you. We should all be doing that. The more in the world I am, the less to knowing. The more in the word. Oh, in the word. I'm reading world. Praying is really good for most people. And well, anybody who has, that kind of faith. Not everybody does, and I would never push that on anybody, but anybody who does, it does. It helps a lot of people. I've never actually tried it. I don't know if that's for anxiety or not. It is. You know what? When you are constantly thinking about different things because you have anxiety, whatever your anxiety is, it kind of takes over your brain and it takes away all of your energy. Your brain just wants to shut down, and I think that's why it wants to sleep. I'm seeing prayers for little lone prepper. I'm sure I have chronic fatigue also caused by Epstein-Barr from about a. They told me I had that also, but I always pushed mine off to anxiety. But I mean, it's possible. I don't know when mine flares up. They've actually taken blood tests, and they told me I have it, but I don't know because I just have anxiety. I still have so much anxiety; it still wipes me out, even though I can do stuff now. it's still always in the back of my brain. So I still always have that anxiety. Devil Dog, try what I said. I mean, it can't hurt. There's no drugs involved. Tell the one that burped. Huh? I'm confused. It's the reason everyone in shelters are on drugs. Representing patients are going to start getting. I'm sorry, Joe. You're going through a lot. I know you are. I keep you in my prayers, buddy. Oof. That does not sound nice. There's no bad graded things going on. I can't keep track of all of them, so I guess that helps me avoid bad anxiety. You know what? Whatever works. You know, everybody reacts to everything differently. Everybody, um, you know, does different things to help themselves differently. What might work for me may cause you anxiety and vice versa. You know, some people like to take medication, other people absolutely hate it. I hate taking medication, but I know it helps people. So, you know, whatever works, as long as it's healthy. You know, you shouldn't drown yourself in alcohol because probably not the healthiest thing. I'm not sure what I said that I think you're agreeing with me for something, but I'm not sure what I said. Oof. My son was in the hospital for a week with mono. They didn't even diagnose him right away. I had it. I didn't know it as a teenager. They just told me later I had Epstein Barr. But yeah, I just his he was so bad. He got so badly dehydrated, and I kept bringing him to the emergency room because he couldn't keep anything down. It was horrible. And they kept releasing him. They're like, "Can you drink this?" He'd take a sip, he'd throw it up, and they're like, "All right, go home." I'm like, seriously? And I'd bring him back the next day to the emergency room because he needed another IV. I'm like, please stop releasing him. And I had to get his doctor to write the hospital to say, please at least keep him overnight. So they admitted him, and then they ended up keeping him for a week. I, it's not fun. That poor kid, he lost, oh my God, he was only 15, 14, 15, and he was thin to begin with and lost 12 pounds. It was terrible. Hey, Mad Chad, how are you? I was just talking about you. Well, I said something about you before. No circuit, no overwhelmed with stress. I try to find some time to lay down and listen to some Mozart. That's nice. That's beautiful. That helps. See, and I go the other way. I listen to the heaviest stuff I can find and sing at the top of my lungs. Singing actually helps anxiety because it forces you to breathe correctly. With me, I have to make sure nobody else is around though, because nobody wants to hear me. I had to step. Oh, that's so sad. That's all. I'm not sure. I'm sure you're talking. Oh, you're so sweet. Virtual hug? Take it off and hydrating something. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Lots of water. I think Papa's Farm. I think I just saw a notification for Papa's Farm. I think he's or Preppers and Patriots. So if you guys if anybody has anything else or if anybody else wants to come up, otherwise I'm gonna cut it off. So anybody who wants to go and hang out with Papa's Farm, I know Miss Metal loves her music. Doesn't Kevin always say the nicest things? He is one of the nicest, most genuine people I have ever spoken to. That's who I meant to say. Preppers and Patriots. Papa's Farm. Same, same. Thank you for putting up the link, Kev. Yeah. So anybody, I don't want to. I don't want to keep you guys here because I know everybody's going to go head over there. You too, Holly. Thanks, Devil Dog. All right. So I'll see a lot of you guys in Preppers and Patriots. Go listen to some good tunes. You'll take care.